I will start by briefly reviewing the evaluation process for Mr. Tețcu. The Commission initiated its evaluation on the 24th of August 2023 by notifying him by email and asking him to complete and return an ethics questionnaire and the financial declarations required by Law 65. Mr. Tețcu returned the completed declarations and questionnaire on the 4th of September 2023. As part of evaluating a subject's ethical and financial integrity, the Commission also obtains information from many other sources, such as the National Integrity Authority, the State Fiscal Service, the General Inspectorate of the Border Police, other public institutions, financial institutions, and open sources. The Commission assesses information it obtains for relevance and reliability. On the 24th of October 2023, the Commission asked Mr. Tețcu to provide additional information by October 31st to clarify certain matters. By that date, he provided answers and documents. On the 17th of November 2023, the Commission sent Mr. Tețcu another round of questions and documentation requests, this time asking for a response by November 21st. On that day, he responded to the Commission's questions and provided most of the requested documents. On the 1st of December 2023, the Commission sent Mr. Tețcu a third round of questions and document requests. He responded by the requested date on December 7th by providing additional documents and responding to the Commission's questions. We subsequently notified Mr. Tețcu that the Commission in its investigation had identified some areas of doubt about his compliance with the ethical and financial criteria and invited him to attend today's hearing. On the 15th of January 2024, Mr. Tețcu notified the Commission that he had additional data and information that he considered relevant, and he provided 7 additional documents. Mr. Tețcu, at the beginning, let me ask, are there any other corrections or additions to the answers you've previously provided that you would now like to make?
First of all, I want to greet you all. I basically don't have nothing to say. The data are the same. No additions currently.
And are the answers to the ethics questionnaire that you returned on the 4th of September 2023 still accurate as of today?
Yes, I confirm.
Okay. Some members of the Commission will now ask you additional questions. We will try to keep our questions short and to the point. Similarly, we ask that you try to keep your answers responsive and short and to the point as well. Commission Member Lavely Perling will start the questions.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, Mr. Ion Tețcu. We don't repeat the questions, but we would like to clarify some aspects. First of all, we would like to ask some question about the potential inexplicable wealth for calendar year of 2021-2022. In the first round, it was 31st of October 2023 when you answered. In your answers, you said that you have no savings. Less than a month later, in the second round, 21st of November 2023, you remembered your savings. Please explain us under what circumstances you remembered your savings.
Yes, thank you. I indeed confirmed that initially in my declaration for 5 years period, I did not mention the amounts as savings which were gathered during the year 2021 because I could not remember. This amount was basically identified by myself later on in the second round of questions when I made some calculations or when I received the questions from the Commission, and by some calculation of myself and taking into account all the materials that I had and still have, I indeed identified, well, actually recalling how much money I was able to save every month, I indeed understood that I did have savings. So I made some mathematical calculations and I deduced this amount. And I want to inform the Commission that maybe we refer to those 205,000, if I'm not mistaken.
You know, the question is not now in calculation or amounts. We would like just understand how you remember it. Did you use some kind of documents? Did you ask from somewhere? Did you ask from the banks? How and why you started to rethink about the calculations?
Well, these calculations, from the beginning, I declared that at the end of 2022, when I submitted the declaration for 2021, I declared savings amounting to 205,000 lei. I did not mention if those were savings for 2020 or 2019, 18, because those were small amounts that didn't need to be reported. But later on, when the Commission asked me in the second round about the savings, I calculated with my family members, and I understood how many savings I could have from the official sources of income in my family for the year 2021.
Okay, let's move on. According to the information from the bank statement, the expenses made by card were in the amount 96,458. All your numbers, you have them in your hand, yeah? From credit account and 64,162 lei from salary account. This amount of 96,458 leis doesn't contain expenses indicated in the declaration for 5 years, which means that the following expenses were made by cash. And I read you now. House rent, 44,453 leis. Holiday expenses, 41,941 lei. Expenditure for children study, 56,000 leis. Loan paid by cash, 74,800 lei. Do you agree with the numbers what I read now?
I will ask the Commission to clarify about this table. Oh, please, could you tell me what table are you speaking about? For what year? Because I have a lot of tables in front. You could speak about the figures for the cash flow.
2021. You can take all your tables. 2021. If it's possible, we can put it also on screen.
Da, deci este, eu am menționat.
I have mentioned that
Comisia a prezentat tabelul și a menționat.
Well, the Commission has presented the table and mentioned that.
Sorry, candidate, I repeated the question. And the numbers, amounts that you already have, and we have asked the question through the 3 rounds. I just asked, do you agree? Do you? Yes, correct numbers, what I read now. Or?
Da, nu toate. Deci,
yes, but not all. If speaking about the table for 2021, for the outflows, the Commission is mentioning in section loan repayment, it's not 126,458. I indicated this in the amount, but this is from the turnover. Later on, I understood that it was some erroneous calculation of mine. This is why maybe Commission, starting from this data, I finally had to clarify what was the amount. Because that was used for repaying the loan. It's not this 126, more than 126,000, it's less. I've presented from the bank the amount that you paid for the reimbursement of the loan.
think it's not necessary to worry about numbers. It's okay, we have got from your answers in written way. But let's take first of all the cash, because during the hearings we would like to just clarify the numbers. I don't repeat all the question, but I mentioned that we talk about cash. For house rent, 44,000, for holiday, 41,000, and something children's stuff. So please wait my question. My question is simple. Why in cash, and what was the source of a cash?
Deci din salariile am indicat sursele.
So it's the wage, the salary. I've indicated those sources, my wage and my wife's wage.
Da.
You have several accounts, and we would like to know how you made the decisions according to which you chose when to use the card and when to use the cash. What were your criteria?
Deci criteriile, evident, cu cardul s-a achitat acele produse.
By card, we used to pay for the food products, some services. In the bank statement, you can find it. I will not focus more on this. Maybe you have this bank statement, which includes those payments that were made by card. As about cash, I paid for the rent, the education of our children. I've repaid the loan and the payments for the holidays, the expenses for the holidays. This are the expenses that I have declared and which were paid in cash from the official incomes of our family.
So I try to understand, you just like cash. That's your answer. That's your choice, of course.
Okay, let's be serious. I paid the rent to the landlords because I stayed at several addresses, and even now I'm renting. So I was paying cash. Obviously, I could not pay by card, and to the education institution I used to pay cash. They issued a receipt to next day. For the holidays, I presented, if I'm not mistaken, the contract and the receipts, and also I paid the cash. So this cash was withdrawn by me to make some savings and to pay for those services or expenses that could not be paid by card.
Let's continue with the year 2021. For the calendar year of 2021, your family incurred total expenses of 606,246 lei. For 2021, the subject, you had higher outgoing cash flow than incoming cash flow, and the result in a negative balance was 322,861 leis. Or after your alternative calculation, from the second round, the negative balance was 163,127 lei. And according to information of CP level for 2021, it was 162. And you answered that you don't accept the CP data, and your family didn't have such expenses. Do you agree what I read now? Our calculation, your calculation,
exact.
And you don't accept SIP. Do you agree?
So I want you to understand me correctly. I do not challenge this EP. We know, and the Commission knows better than me, that these are estimates and average calculations.
eu neavând locuință și neavând
well, myself without having own house and having this willing desire to have a place for my family, I made it as possible as made savings as more as possible, and I did not live in luxury conditions, let's say so, in order to have these savings. I understand maybe it's some way inexplicable or not understood by the Commission, but it was logical for me to live in very good conditions and to stay in rent with my two children for years. But maybe as every parent, I want the best for my children. This is why from the official incomes that I had, I made some savings every month. And if you could notice, only in 2021, if I'm not mistaken, I was able to live with my children for a holiday for the first time. I don't believe that I believe that every father is doing the best for the children. I used to take products from the countryside. We used to have visits to our parents and take some products from there. Or when my sister was going to the countryside, they used to bring us some. I have cans at home, some already prepared products in order to be prepared and not to mislead the Commission. I didn't afford to go to some restaurants or some other institutions. So I tried at maximum possible to get the food products and to provide for our family in order to have also some savings.
Thank you. That means that you don't want to accept the food part of a CEP, something else, or only food? If we talk about CEP.
Eu mi-am făcut niște schițe, fiindcă sunt foarte
I did some notes because there are many elements. And because I worked at the same time. These deadlines, during these deadlines, I still had to maintain my obligation, so I made some notes. I would like to say that
CCCP-ul deci este 96.455 de cum suma indicată de comisie. Deci
some mentioned by the Commission. The loan is, I said 63, and now I understand it's 66. The housing expenditures are the same. The holidays were reported, and they are also included in this CEP. They are a separate section. Leisure and recreation. That is.
Next question. According to questions addressed by our commission, you stated that you have managed to survive and provide your family with food and non-alcoholic beverage in January 2021 with 60 lei, April 2021 168 lei, May 2021 797 lei, and August 2021 753 lei, and more. And exactly, you explained that you got your food from village and you cooked at home. Where is your summer cottage? In which part of Moldova?
Deci, în raionul Telenești.
In Telenești district.
Okay. How far it is from Chisinau?
Deci, 80 și ceva kilometri.
More than 80 kilometers.
Retur.
In one direction.
86, 83, dacă nu
So approximately 86, 83, if I'm not mistaken.
160 lei, we talk about €3. And did you work that this time? For example, January 2021, April 2021, or you stayed with your...
Da.
And what about your family in summertime? They were in city or in summer cottage?
Deci la casa de la țară, la bunici, apropo și în 2020,
In the cottage, even when there was the pandemic, so when it started, my kids stayed there for 4 months because for a short period the educational institutions did not work, and usually during the summer the children are in the countryside, whether either with my parents or with the parents of my wife.
For example, if we take the April 2021 and 168 lei, could you please describe just us, for example, I don't know, your children's menu of a week, how you spent the 168 lei, or maybe you just spent this money only for your food. Just describe the week, how it was possible to live.
Deci acești bani au fost probabil achiziționați strict necesar.
For this money, we probably bought the basic products for the children, because some products were brought from the countryside, dairy products, fruit, vegetables. So basically once every 2 weeks I used to go there until the end of 2023. So I used to go to the countryside, work there for the weekend, and bring the produce from there. So this is the reality. This is how much I paid.
Asta e răspunsul. Da,
this is my answer.
Respectiva sumă
for the sum that you mentioned, it's not that we survived, but I don't want to exaggerate. We provided for our family because we used to cook at home. Yes. I don't know. From my point of view, you were saying that everything that is purchased every time, if I did this, I would have to get out of the system and work abroad. This is why I try to save as much as possible in order to achieve some plans, personal plans.
So it was about savings. Let's talk about your loans now. Let's talk about year 2022, when you declared the 91,849 leis as expenses incurred for loan repayment. What kind of loan it was? What was the purpose of this loan?
Vă referiți la anul 2000?
You mean
2022, you declared that 91,849 leis as expenses incurred for loan repayment.
Da, deci un împrumut din 2016.
Yes, this is a loan taken in 2016, 86,000. This was a credit card with preferential conditions. So I took this loan and I used this. I put some money there and I could use it anytime. And then I understood that, so I only used to pay for the interest and some penalties if there were. So this is from the loan of 86,000.
Do you have, okay, how many loans you already had by this time?
În 2022 am avut,
In 2022,
am contractat două împrumuturi,
I had
două
two
credite
loans,
de
two
la
credits
două bănci diferite.
from two different
Unul
banks,
de 300.000 și
one
altul
of
de
300,000 and one of 60,000, if I'm not mistaken.
And how many loans you took out this year, 2022?
I-am zis
So I mentioned this two.
două credite am contractat în
Before that, did you have any loans?
Da, deci credit de 86.000 din 2016.
One from 2016 with a value of 86,000.
Da.
On Monday, 15th of January, you provided us some new documents. Do you agree?
Da, confirm.
Yeah.
Yes, I confirm.
Why on Monday? Why not before?
Deci eu îmi cer scuze
I
dacă cumva am pus în
apologize
situație comisia.
if
Da,
I put the Commission in a difficult situation.
Vă zic că am să vă spun, bine, să
I
fiu sincer până
will
la
be
capăt.
honest.
Finele anului, eu sunt
At the end of
manager
the
interimar
year,
în această
I'm interim in an interim position. As the chairperson mentioned, I'm alone, and I had some figures I need to calculate, studies, and I was fully involved in that. I wish I had done this faster in order to not put the Commission in a difficult situation, but that was the situation.
Nu a fost, adică intenționat.
This is
Eu
not
încercam
on
să-
purpose.
eu nu înțelegeam cum pot să
I
suc
did
să
not
achit
understand
100 și ceva
how
din 126
someone
din
can
127
pay 126 or 27,000 in 2021 for credit card if the loan is of 86,000.
Și nu l-am închis.
And
În 2020, când am făcut un
I don't know why
deci
I didn't close it then. And then I try to remember with my wife, we went to the bank,
din suma asta
and they
de
said that
mișcări, intrări, ieșiri pe card,
with these
efectiv, asta s-a
entrances
căcat din
and
credit
exits,
60 ceva de mii,
you
66.000.
actually
Restul
paid
banii din asta s-a
66,000.
utilizat.
The rest of the money
Deși
was
eu în
used
declarație am
by you.
declarat 126.
Although in the declaration I stated
Mi-asum
126,000.
această eroare.
I take responsibility for this error.
În pripă,
I did this in a haste.
operând cu suma
And,
așa cum am operat-o cu respectiva sumă.
I used the respective amount.
Consider că comisia
I'm fully open, and if the Commission will check based on the documents to have proof, if I were to hide part of the amount, it would have been different. But now I indicated the turnover, so all the.
How you explain the differences? Because in your 5-year declaration, you mentioned 126,457. When in second round questions you talked about 63,000, and now on Monday you provided us that the amount was 56,000. So during one evaluation period, 3 different amounts. Your loan, one loan, your answers.
Da, mulțumesc. Deci, da, exact, confirm.
Yes, I confirm.
Deci, nu am luat în calcul și nu am
I didn't take into consideration, and I didn't add the interest.
Deci, în suma asta de 66.000,
So this 66,000 that results from the certificate presented to the Commission, this amount includes the interest, because I used to pay this interest, the credit and the loan and the penalties. So when I calculated, I'm not sure if it's visible in the statement. It's like a hidden commission. So I went to the bank and I asked them to explain how much interest or penalties I paid and what was the amount paid from the loan for that year.
Sorry. When we finish with savings, when my question is for the year 2021, you declared at the end of the year cash savings amounting to 205,700 leis. According to questions, you indicated that you cannot tell exactly the source of a fund of a cash savings, but mainly, as you said, they were the income from work and you say the names of institutions. Do you confirm that the cash is?
Confirm.
You confirm.
I confirm.
Okay. I give now floor to my colleagues.
Mr. Gatskin?
Da, mulțumesc.
Thank you. Mr. Tețcu, I have one clarification question on the credit card. Do you accept that in the information that was offered by the Commission, you noticed that you have a balance for this credit card for 2021 that is approximately 250,000 lei? This was transferred from your salary account to pay for this loan, and part of the money was deposited in cash, approximately 70,000. Do you agree? Yes. So the total would be 126,000 lei, as you declared in your statement to the Commission. At the end of the year, we had an amount of approximately 20,000 as the final balance. So the rest of 100,000 was spent to pay for the credit and in the household as savings. So I withdraw this from the account, and I didn't just make expenditures in cash, but I also had some savings. In the third round of questions, you mentioned a loan of 60,000 lei. This loan was not identified in the declarations you submitted to NIA for 2022. Can you tell us why? You mean the loan to my friend? I didn't declare this because the amount was low. This is why I didn't declare it. But when I was calculated, and I was trying to understand why is there this high difference between the outflows and the inflows, I said, well, I remember that my friend paid me back this loan. He was in Israel working, and he told me he would pay back whenever I would need to buy something on real estate property. Actually, I even bought the car in 2022 because the prices were increasing there. So this was a loan that was paid back. Yes. But this is not the main issue. So I had different savings during that year. So, for the Commission, these savings of 205,000 lei at the end of 2021 are still under question, because you had high expenses and the cash withdrawals of approximately 150,000. And here we have a discrepancy regarding the source of these savings at the end of the year. Could you explain? Maybe I will repeat what I said, but these savings of 205,000 reported in 2022 for 2021, these are made up of two amounts, 96,000 in 2021 and more than 109 savings from the previous years, 2019, 18. 109,000. I'll take a look at the table.
E menționat în runda.
This is mentioned in the rounds of questions. I think that in the second round.
Referitor la procesul de judecată care l-ați
Regarding the trial that you initiated against the mayoralty in Chisinau, could you tell us why you initiated this dispute and what was the purpose?
Da, confirm. Sunt sau am inițiat un proces.
I confirm that I have a trial with the Chisinau municipality in order for my family and I to be granted some housing space. This was initiated because I don't have such a place up to now, and I need it. So I need it, but I don't have it, and I'm renting a place. Therefore, in my opinion, since I have used all the leverages at the national level, I tried to do this legally, and I could not obtain this housing space in different methods through an exchange. And I tried to use the legal mechanism to claim my rights, and the Commission is already aware that now, regretfully, the Republic of Moldova is a state that has cases in front of the ECHR in Strasbourg. And recently, there was a note from the government, and if the Commission will accept it, I have it from the lawyer. I received it last night. Regarding my request, and I received that decision while being in a different system. I'm in that system for more than 20 years. And I think that the state has an obligation, and the municipality of Chisinau has the obligation to offer me a living space because of my occupation. I don't need to be owner. It's just a right that I have. Unfortunately, so far this has failed, and we will see what will be the decision of the court in Strasbourg. But I have still this need to have a living space. If I had this place, probably I would not need to explain those more than 200,000 lei in savings that you gather with effort in order to buy a real estate property. So I consider that I'm still a victim, despite the fact that I got that decision while being in a different system, but now I'm not in that system anymore. Now I'm in the prosecutor's office. And that system also used to offer spaces for living for prosecutors. So I did not consider I should have another trial, because this takes time. These trials take time, and instead of focusing on my main activity and to be efficient at work, I need to go to court. Because I was present there in most of the times, except for the complaint to Strasbourg. I was present in all the official proceedings. I tried 2 times, I could not get this, and the situation forced me to act. And I could even give up this damage that I asked in the court.
Thank you. No more questions?
Let's continue with a loan topic a little bit. Sorry if you now repeat the answer, but could you tell one more time what was the purpose of a loan 2021? And what was the amount of a loan? You took loan 2021. What was the purpose and what was the amount of a loan?
Deci 300.000.
Was
Credit, vă referiți
three.
la asta?
You mean this loan, this credit?
Yes, credit.
Da, credit. Deci creditul a fost
The
obținut
credit, this
pentru,
loan was taken
deci doream să achiziționez un spațiu locativ.
because I wanted to buy a living space, but I failed in this process
Hai spune așa,
because
ofertă încât
I had-
ofertă de, adică ofertă, deci am indicat acest automobil care
I had this offer to buy the car. I identified the car that was selling, and
cel ce dorea să vinde
because the prices were increased, the person that wanted to sell the apartment didn't want to negotiate the price.
am mers, am achiziționat
So
un
I
automobil
just
pentru că
bought
am
the car that I still have now.
So, as I understand, the purpose was living space. You couldn't, you bought the car. And what was the amount of a loan?
Da, 370 și am declarat în...
More than
De
370,000.
fapt, suma reală...
Well, actually, the
deci cuprins în contractul de
real
vânzare
amount
cu
included
automobil
in
și
the contract of selling and
inclusiv și în
purchasing,
declarația
it's
în
also
și
including in the declaration to the NIA, and the commission also was informed about that.
Did you use also the money to compensate for previous debts?
Vă referiți să datorii...
You mean the debt?
Yeah.
Păi eu am achitat creditul de 86.000.
Well, I've repaid that credit of to 86,000 in
În
2022.
2022 am stins creditul
In
de 86.000.
2022,
But
I
talk about
repaid.
2021. Did you use the loan money that pay back previous loan?
Deci, vă referiți la împrumutul de la persoana care mi-a
You mean the
returnat?
loan
Asta
that
vă referiți?
was
Dacă am
reimbursed
utilizat acea
me
sumă pentru
if I used
stingerea
this
creditului de
money
86?
to repay back the
Yes.
credit of
Yes.
86,000?
Your answer was yes?
No.
No. Okay. Let's talk now about your car, or about the car Mercedes-Benz.
Da.
No, before let's talk about donations. Let's talk about donation first of all, because during the period from 2011 to 2022, you and your wife received donation in the total amount of 308,747 leis. Yeah. Do you agree? Yeah, very good. And some of the donations you reported in annual declaration, some of them no. How did you decide it, what kind of donation to declare and what kind of them not to declare?
Deci nu m-am decis, eu am declarat la ani atunci.
I did not decide
În acea perioadă,
that moment.
deci eu am declarat la memorie, nu făceam.
I've declared
Deja
what I
întoarcem în
remembered.
începând cu
Already starting from 2016, if I'm not mistaken, 2017,
transferurile care
all
erau,
the
deci
transfers that were the information from the bank that I kept at home for the end of the year or for the next year, to be able to indicate those information, those amount correctly in the declaration, not only for transfers but also for cash, because there were different events, private events. Yes, I admit, I confirm that part of the donations were not declared for the year 2012, 2013, 14, and 16. Part of the donations were received by my wife, because if we analyze the information presented by the Commission, there is only $300 or euros that I received in my name and I did not declare. But for the others, my wife was the receiving party, and the means were not meant for us.
anumite sume transferate de
There were
fratele,
some
care
amounts
le
transferred
primea
by her
firmă
brother
prin sistemul bancar
that she
și
received
încercând să
then
ajute,
while she was
primea
working
și
in the banking
dânsul
system.
cu acești bani ulterior și-a achiziționat
So she received money, and later on he used this money to buy a car or house.
respectiv soția nu mi-a comunicat și
So the wife did not
aceste
inform
erori
me
eu mi le
about
asum.
this,
Deci
and
eu am,
I
așa cum am
recognize
menționat și în
about
runda care mi se dă
recognize
sau
these
prin,
errors.
din raport comisia.
And
Pe mine,
in the second and third
secretarul
round of
angajament și-am
the
corectat
questions,
declarațiile
I have corrected the
am
declarations
să
for
rog
these
comisia
years,
dacă
and I will kindly ask the Commission
are asemenea informații.
if
deci poate
the Commission
accesat.
has information,
Da, am
such
încercat
information,
să
the
corectez
site
aceste
can be
declarații, chiar și dacă ele nu
accessed.
sunt în formatul
Yes, I have
care-
tried to
electronic
correct this
care să
information
le pot
if
să
these are
îl
not
adaptez.
even in
Eu
the
am
format
corectat
that could
aceste date și
allow
am indicat în
adaptations.
declarațiile din
I
părinții
still
2017.
to correct the declaration starting from 2017.
În discuții cu operatorul de
I did this in discussions with the operator from NIA.
Bine, sincer să fiu acasă, am început discuții.
Because at home, actually, I started to argue, to discuss with family where this amounts received and not communicated to me. And the explanation was that were not our money.
Dar eu, aflând despre acest, în contextul
But,
acestui exercițiu care mă supun de către Comisia,
Once I found out about this element during the vetting commission's evaluation, I have corrected all these declarations. I have this with myself also, but on the NIA portal we can find them
în care am
also.
introdus toate aceste
So
donații.
I have entered all these donations on
Aceste
their
donații
website.
primite de la mama.
These are donations
soacră, de la
received
mama
from my
mea,
mother-in-law, from my
mama soacră,
mother,
mama mea din 2005 până în 2018.
starting from 2005 till 2018. My mother has worked in Israel, also from my mother-in-law. I have another relative, like brother-in-law, who worked,
Nu oficial, dar am început și atunci
even
aveam
though unofficially, but he
adică
still worked
vreun an și ceva sau doi.
more than 1 year, I believe.
Și ce perioadă, dar se poate de...
But we can check. I believe in one round of questions I mentioned this.
Deci eu am declarat bine ce sunt și diferența între donațiile primite prin transfer.
So I mentioned that there are differences also
declarate oficial din
by donation in the donations to transfer and those in declarations from in NIA. Why are these differences? Maybe because I declared the
numerar, da?
donations in cash.
Respectiv le-am declarat. Da, am admis niște erori, dar
Yes, I made some errors,
nu am făcut-o cu
but
scopul de
it
a
was
ascunde
not
câteva
in order to
venituri.
conceal some incomes.
Okay, thank you. Let's talk about the car. Mercedes-Benz. You know the number of a car. You know the car, what we talk about, yeah?
Da.
Whose car it was?
Deci mașina este mașina este a surorii.
The car belongs to my sister.
The first insurance for the car, the first insurance, in the name of you took place on the 9th of April 2015. And this is few days after the registration, the car in the name of your sister on 25th of March 2015. Do you agree?
Da, confirm.
Yes, I confirm.
According to the administrative contraventions for this car, to the insurance contracts and the state border crossing of a vehicle, it is to be understood that the only user of car was you. Do you agree?
Deci nu doar eu.
It's not only me.
Bine, din câte mi-amintesc,
Well, as far as I know, I remember,
deci nu că doar eu.
it's not just only me, because the car belonged to my sister. It was also used by her and by my brother, my wife also, and my brother-in-law. This car was declared, I declared this car in 2016 to NIA every year because I had this commemoration procedure with in relation to this car. This is why I declared it as the means of transportation that I used. But it didn't belong to me. I did not take part in the purchase of this car, not in negotiation and its later use or disposal. Yes, I have used this car, I do not deny, but my sister, my brother was using it also. There were also cases when my brother used it for like 3 months when his car was broken. It was different periods on decision or acceptance from my sister.
Who was your sister in this time, 2015, when she bought the car? Who? Was worked somewhere?
No, studenta.
She was a student.
She was student in 2015.
Da, confirm, da.
Yes.
Da, încă din amintesc student.
As far as I remember, she was a student.
Okay, maybe you have a question about the car.
Domnul Tețcu,
Mr. Tețcu, according to the data submitted by the Commission has identified that this car in 2015 with a similar model would have costed 2 times more, about 10,000 euro. Could you explain, please, the difference between the purchase price and the market price of this car at that moment in 2015? Well, I reiterate, at that moment when my sister has bought this car, I did not help her. I was not aware and was not interested in this because I did not take part in this exercise to study the car market. I don't know what are the reasons why the Commission is operating with such a big amount of 9,000-10,000 euro. Maybe the Commission has some confirming documents in this regard. Otherwise, these are just some assumptions. So the price that was paid by my sister is the price that I didn't even know. I did not insist to know it. But now I was put in this situation to find out about. And I insisted with my family members, my sister, my mother, to explain, to tell me the real price of the car. And they told me that it was 6,000 euro, the real price of the car. I understood that it was real. It was my brother that helped her to negotiate and to do all the documents. Was it brought from abroad? No, it was in the country. Did it have some deficiencies, some breaks? No, it was functioning. Mr. Tețcu, if I may, I'd like to continue about the car. You have declared that you've been using this asset. That's good, but I understand it was not an asset that you used on a permanent basis. This is what says your declaration. You use it more than once per year. But at the same time, you have paid the mandatory insurance for this car for 7 years, and it's only in your name. Apparently, in that insurance was not the name of your sister entered, who was the legal owner of the car. The question was if she used that car, why wasn't she introduced in the list of the persons in the insurance? Well, as far as I know, it was not only me who paid the insurance. Well, I was the main person in this accommodation agreement who made the documents, but I believe a few years, even first years, she gave me the money to do these documents, the insurance, the technical checks, and so on. As about the insurance, it was not specified. It was an unlimited number of persons. It was my sister's decision because the car was used by my sister, by my wife, by my brother-in-law. So in that case, you've paid the insurance for this car for 7 years period. Yes, I confirm if it's said in the documents. I cannot deny. I don't know if I was in the first year the one that paid in the first year from the purchase. If I was the one indicated to have made all the documents. But if yes, it may be. I confirm, but part of the money for this insurance was paid by my sister for 2-3 years, and I just went to prepare the documents. I confirm, yes, that I paid for a few years this insurance from my money also. But she was driving. It was not possible to have a limited number of persons. It was unlimited. Unfortunately, I don't have some documents or evidence for that.
No more questions
Thank
from
you.
my side.
Any questions by other commission members? Hey, let's see. Mr. Tețcu, would you like to make a brief statement before we conclude today's hearing? Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Well, nothing else to say, nothing additional except for the things that I already explained. If the Commission accepts, I can present this document speaking about the communication with the government of Moldova about the trial that is with the ECHR, declarations confirming that I corrected them as good as possible for me. But as a conclusion, I'd like to mention that acceptance. I want to appreciate the effort of the Commission because while being involved in this process, I felt this openness, and I really appreciate it. I want to mention that I did not breach the ethical and rules and code of conduct in my activity. Every time I acted in the spirit of the law and in good faith. I have not shown arbitrary behavior and did not issue arbitrary documents, and I did not accept inconsistencies and incompliant activities with the situation and status of judge or prosecutor. And other candidates coming after me, I wish them good luck in this exercise. And better say, I took the decision to participate in the contest, well aware of the risk that could follow, but well aware that I'm honest in my activity. And this is why I decided to move forward. This was what I wanted to say. Thank you very much for the attention. I hope I was explicit in everything I said. Thank you.
Well, thank you. We've come to the end of today's hearing. Mr. Tețcu, thank you for your submissions and the answers you've provided to the Commission's questions. After today's hearing, the Commission will approve an evaluation report stating its conclusion whether the subject meets the criteria for ethical and financial integrity under Law 65. The Commission will strive to complete its evaluation report and announce its conclusion as soon as possible. It generally seeks to do so within a month after the conclusion of the hearing. Today's hearing is now closed. Good afternoon to everyone.